Let's catch up with the National Education Union. Their General Secretary is Courtney, and he joins me now. Thank you for your time. Disappointed to lose Gavin Williamson?
Oh, I said yesterday, we can't pretend that we're sorry that Gavin Williamson has gone. But I must say, we are really looking forward to engaging with Nadeem Zahawi to see how much of a common agenda we can forge. There is a lot to do in the light of COVID and in the light of any levelling up agenda. So we look forward to meeting with him. We don't know who's going to be the schools minister. Nick Gibb has also lost his position. So there's a new schools minister to come as well. But we want to engage. There's a lot to work on around COVID, education recovery, around school funding, around GCSE exams, and the fact that 1/3 of children fail GCSE maths and English every year because of the way we set the grade boundaries, teacher recruitment and retention, primary school assessment. There is so much that we want to talk with and see how much of a common agenda we can forge.
Of course, there has, been seen to be some grade inflation in summer exam results in the last 2 years and chaotic systems for deciding exams. What needs to happen and what does government now need to do to try and give a clear focus for next summer?
So there's a question about next summer. There's last summer, there's next summer, and there's future summers to come. Now, last summer, Gavin Williamson just refused to engage with any discussion of any plan B. We were approaching him and senior civil servants in October of last year saying, we know you want exams to run, but what if they can't? Let's talk now about the measures if they can't. He wouldn't do that, and that led to more stress for students and more workload for teachers. We are going to have an issue next summer that the children taking GCSEs next summer will have missed more education than other year groups by a long way. So there's work that we have to do at detail around that. But actually, we need to look at GCSEs as a whole. I heard Sir Michael Wilshaw, the ex-head of Ofsted, on the BBC Today programme this morning, saying that he thought there was an argument for wholesale reform of GCSEs, of assessing children at 18, not at 16, so that we have a broader curriculum.
Would you back scrapping the GCSEs?
Well, there are certainly things that are really going badly wrong. At the moment, government decides, Ofqual decides grade boundaries that mean that 1/3 of children every year get a failing grade for their English and maths GCSEs. And most of those children, there are many more of those children in the red wall seats. So any incoming Conservative government minister that is committed to levelling up, they really need to look at that issue with us. There needs to be a consultation about the future of GCSEs, but most countries that have education going to 18 would not have the whole number of exams that we have at age 16. So there is something to look at on that.
But does that need to happen right now? Because I think, your colleagues have talked about whether GCSEs are fit for purpose.
Yeah,
does that need to happen immediately with this new minister in post?
That will not happen before next summer. So there is the immediate job of looking at the exams that children will do next summer. And that's an immediate bit of work. But having gone through this experience and seeing how much stress there is on those exams at 16, there is a call, there is a place now to look for further ahead at changes on that. And it's not just my union that's saying that. The Times has got an education commission looking at that. As I say, Sir Michael Wilshaw said, but that's not the whole agenda that we need to look at. We need to look at, COVID has disrupted the education of children across the country, but there has been more disruption. If your parents have to go out to work for a living, if they can't work from home, if your mum's a cleaner or your your mum or dad are a cleaner, or if they're security guards or if they're working outdoors, they're more likely to have got COVID and you're more likely to have missed education. And we can see that statistically. And that means children in the red wall seats for the Conservatives and their election promises will have missed more education. So we need to think about how we reduce that, how we have CO2 monitors in place on ventilation. We also need to look at education recovery. We want to work with Nadeem Zahawi on education recovery. Kevin Collins wanted £15 billion. £3 billion so far has been promised, but we need more education recovery, the more disadvantaged a school is. And on school funding, since 2015, schools were cut. They've started getting some of that money back, but the schools that are the most disadvantaged were cut the most. So again, schools in the red wall seats cut the most. So any government that's looking at levelling up needs to look at those issues with us, as well as you can imagine that we would want to say teacher recruitment and retention.
Okay.
And proper support for support staff in schools, they really need to be a focus as well.
A very big intro for Nadeem Zahawi. Have you reached out to him at all since his appointment? I mean, and do you welcome the fact that he's a very successful business person in his own right? Will he bring some private sector focus and drive to this?
Well, Gavin Williamson was also a private sector businessman before being enrolled, so that doesn't automatically bring success. But I think Nadeem Zahawi, what we want to see and what we hope is that he will have a hearing with the Prime Minister and a hearing with the Treasury. And we could work with him on trying to increase that level of hearing with the Prime Minister and with the Treasury. So we hope he'll listen to us, listen to the profession, but listen to my union, the National Education Union, other unions in the area, and work with us on that. So we're really open to doing that. We're not party politically affiliated, so we're very up for working with him. But there is a very big agenda. I'm not here setting out a shopping list of a whole set of trades union demands. I'm saying there are a lot of issues in education that need resolving. He won't be able to resolve, nobody could resolve all of them immediately. So we'd like to work with him on forging a common agenda that starts to address them and lays out a plan for addressing them. The primary assessment has grown so much in this country that curriculum is quite dry in our primary schools. That needs to be looked at. We're really different to other countries around, the other advanced educational countries. We're really quite different to them. So there is a big agenda of work that could be done.
Kevin Courtney, General Secretary of the National Education Union, thank you very much indeed.